Hey, good afternoon. 828 Find Adventure here. I'm going to install some lights on a hitch bicycle rack that goes on the back of my vehicle. This will also work for a cargo rack. So let's go do it. So I needed a bike rack that went into the receiver hitch. And I thought, why don't we put some full functioning taillights back there? And maybe that'll give people a better idea of how close they actually are. So I needed to figure out how to do this. So the first thing I did was order a piece of black anodized angle aluminum from onlinemetals.com. They sent it to me in a 48-inch length. It wasn't very expensive at all, and it was just perfect for the project I was creating. So then I needed to go through and figure out where I was going to need to drill all the holes. One for mounting it and for mounting the lights. Once I figured that out, I marked the metal, and then I got out the old drill press and I started drilling some holes. I'm not very seasoned at drilling holes with the drill press, so excuse my archaic skills. Pretty easy. I just used a step down bit, and since it was aluminum, it just drilled right through. Now to mount the lights. I already had the hardware, and I got the lights. They're super bright LED lights. I will put a link under the video in the description if you're interested in them. You just screw them on, and then, I use nylon lock nuts, and then you just, tighten them up, and then you start wiring. These lights, while small, are very bright, and I've used them in several applications. I could have used the hardware that came with my bicycle rack to attach this piece of angle aluminum to it, but I decided to go buy some stainless steel bolts of the same thread. Now that the lights were bolted on to the angle aluminum, it was time to start wiring. I just used a basic, I think they call it a 4-pin or 4-pole trailer wiring harness. And you can get these at the hardware store, or like me, I got it through eTrailer.com. You can get it on Amazon, wherever you want to get it. So I used this wiring, and it's basically pretty easy if you go by the wiring when you're putting on, just like you're putting on trailer lights. There's a certain color for the left light and a certain color for the right light. The two other colors are ground and power. So if you follow the diagram you can find online or that came with your trailer lights, you will get lights when you turn your lights on, brake lights, and left and right turn signals. This will also work with your hazard lights. I also wrapped the wires in a plastic sheath you can get at hardware stores or Amazon or eTrailer or other places. You use it to cover speaker wire or wire in your car when you're doing automotive wiring. I covered the wires with that, taped it, and then used some zip ties, or you could use shrink wrap. Either way, it's going to look good and it protects the wires. To attach the wires to the angle aluminum, you can drill holes and put those little cable hooks like they use for running cable in your house. Or like me, I got those little cable hooks, but I used a 3M double-sided tape to attach it to the angle aluminum, so I wouldn't have to fill it full of drill holes and extra nuts and screws. I want to be clear that this could also be done on a cargo rack that you put in the hitch on the back of your vehicle. So then basically, all you do is bolt it to the bike rack where you have made an attachment point, run the wires where they need to go and plug it into your 4-pin trailer hitch connector that's under or in your rear bumper. You want to make sure you have enough wire to make it to the 4-pin plug, depending on if you have a 4-bike rack, 3-bike rack, 2-bike rack, or just 1-bike rack. You always want to have enough wire left over. If you have too much, you can use a piece of Velcro strap or something like that to tie up the excess wiring. Now let's make sure it works. You always want to test it before you leave because you know some knucklehead will run into you and then they'll blame the lights on your bike rack. Well, it looks like we have light. Look at that. We got a left turn signal. We got right turn signal. We got lights on. We got some brake lights. And we got some hazard lights. That is awesome. Maybe that'll keep the knuckleheads off the back of my vehicle and at a safe distance. I don't know what their deal is. They are either doing it to mess with me or they have horrible depth perception. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video on installing lights on the back of a hitch bicycle rack. Remember, this will also work for a cargo rack as well. Under the video, in the description, I'll put links to some of the parts that I used and places that I sourced the aluminum. Stay tuned for more videos. I've got lots of things coming up, some light installs on the truck and some mountain bike stuff, so stay tuned. And as always, thanks for watching and please subscribe. I really appreciate it. See you next time.